G'day ladies and gentlemen, Kieran down in Document Management Tasmania, and thank you yet again for joining me for my morning cup of coffee. For those of you who don't know me that well, I usually get into the office between 7 and 7:30 every morning, and around at 10 o'clock I'm ready for a bit of a wander and get out and stretch my legs and have that cup of coffee by myself as I gather my thoughts before I go back into it. And what a beautiful place I have to stretch my legs. This is about 250 metres from the office, and I would have to be one of the luckiest men in Hobart to have this right on my doorstep. Okay, so what have I been thinking about, or what are my thoughts for the day at the moment, which I'm working on in my business in Document Management Tasmania, and I dare say that you should be working on in your business. So let's go back into the basics. We've spent the last 2 years dealing with a pandemic, and whilst that may feel like ancient history, I dare say that you've still got staff away with illness, and I know that I have, I'm sure that you have, and even though the mandates are getting less and less and less, we're still having to manage that, and I'm sure you're doing a fabulous job. Notwithstanding, the biggest challenge you have now, or the other challenge you have, is you have disruptions to supply chains. You have challenges with some of your clients or some of the people that you rely on working from decentralised, working from home, and you're still having those productivity issues. And the productivity issues may be simply from supply chain. I haven't got the product I need, so therefore I haven't installed it, I haven't built it, I haven't been paid for it. Oh my goodness, these are all challenges. Not to mention you then throw in rising petrol prices, inflation moving, the challenges of operational overheads increasing, and if you're in a commoditised market, as many of us are, you're going, how am I meant to do this? So the thought for the day is that very thing. How am I meant to do this? It's time for you to play a game like you did when you were a kid. When you were a kid, did you ever read those choose your own adventure books where it said, if you want to do this, turn to page 34. If you want to do this, go to page 15. Business at the moment is exactly that. And I look at it as going, what if? What if this happens, what am I going to do? And what if that happens, what am I going to do? Now, you might say, historically, we've not needed to play such silly things, but right here, right now, in the 21st century, in the challenges that we face, you're going through a pandemic. We're in a time when there is a genuine threat or an ease of what's happening in Europe in relation to Russia and Ukraine, and will that escalate into something far more global? And what does that mean? And by the way, if you haven't thought about that, there is thousands and thousands of books and articles that you can read on what happens to businesses in times of global war. And it's not all doom and gloom, a lot of it is. Notwithstanding, if there was ever a time for you to start playing what if, now's the time. Start with yourself. Lock yourself down for 3 or 4 hours an afternoon, and I say lock yourself down, and simply ask this simple question. What's the worst that could happen? And plan for it. Plan for it with your staff, plan for it in every facet of your business. If I lost this person, if I lost this, if I didn't have if my supply chains got worse, if my bank stopped providing credit. All incredible things. All really important things. It'll be a very, very valuable 3 or 4 hours. And you might say, oh yes, we have disaster recovery plans. Play what if. Have a good one, guys. Time for a coffee. Yum.